Welcome to another episode of the Millennial Management Podcast. I'm your host, Brandi, the Millennial Manager, and today, y'all, we are talking about burnout. It is so real. It happens all the time, and we're going to discuss how to navigate. But before we get started, I want to make sure that you are following me at Brandi, the Millennial Manager on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Also, make sure that you share this podcast with a few of your coworkers or a few of your friends. Let's get started. So if you are experiencing burnout, there are a few things that can give you some signals. First of all, your body is the first thing. Your body lets you know first. If you're experiencing fatigue, you're getting sick quite a bit, your body is not recovering. When you get sick, it's like you're constantly staying in this place of illness. Another way would be consistent headaches and maybe digestive issues. So if you are experiencing a lot of sinking feelings in your body when you arrive at work or when you see an email come over, you are headed towards burnout. You're definitely headed towards burnout. And this is why I tell y'all that you have to remove the emotion at work, because it can seriously cause so many health problems to your body and also to your mental health. Emotional symptoms, they look like irritability, anxiety, depression. You feel hopeless, like you feel like there's nothing that you can ever do that is going to make the situation better or help you to be successful in the workplace. You start to feel trapped in certain situations, and it is just a downer. This is why when we do the Sunday Scary video, those symptoms are all related to that. And if you have a good place to work, you can still experience those symptoms, but they won't be as severe. If you are experiencing those symptoms and it's in a severe state, then baby, you are experiencing burnout. That's not the Sunday Scaries. You get these feelings even if you're Monday through Thursday or Monday through Friday, whatever your work schedule is, you're not feeling it just on a Saturday, just on a Sunday. You're feeling it even when you are at work. You're frustrated when emails come across. It is definitely affecting your behavior because you're not motivated. You feel like everything is difficult. Everyone is difficult. You are in burnout. And we cannot stay there. That does so much to your mental and physical health. That is not even funny. It puts you in a place where everything is cynical. You don't care about what's going on at work. Not like you don't care about your job, right? Now you have stopped caring about your job. Okay? This is where you have stopped only not caring about what the fuck people are doing at work, but you're also not caring about you doing your job and whether you do it well. When you get to that point, that is when you have passed the point of I don't give a fuck about what happens. You don't even care if you do your job well. Ways that we can improve this is, number one, establishing a work-life balance. You have to provide a boundary for your boss. You have to provide a boundary for your coworkers when it comes to your personal time. Okay? We've already talked about this in the boundary series. You have to make sure that you separate. You need to compartmentalize your life. And if you want to improve this situation, this is the first step. You need to start putting a boundary around everything in your life. If you have a coworker that you have kind of, become good friends with, and when y'all talk is outside of work and you're constantly talking about work, now this person has infiltrated your personal life, because even when you are not at work, you're talking about work and you cannot escape it. You need to put up a boundary for your personal life. You think the conversation is very, innocent. Like, oh, girl, did you see this? Yeah, child, I saw that email and this and this. But if that conversation is happening on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, It is becoming too much and it is infiltrating your personal life. So you need to put up a boundary, okay? Time management is one of our biggest tools that we can ever use. We need to make sure that not only are we arriving on time, we're taking our lunches on time. We're not sitting inside of the workplace taking our lunch. Okay, if you're listening to this right now and you're eating lunch, you need to pack up your food and go to your car. Go to a different place to eat. Go sit in the park. Go and sit at the mall if you work near a shopping center. Go and get out of your job, please. You need a different scenery for your mental health. Turn your phone on D&D while you are on lunch. They should not be able to reach you. They should not be able to call you when you are on lunch. I don't care what your job is. There are other people there who can deal with this situation, or it can wait. If you work in corporate America, there is really no emergency. There's only urgency, okay? Not emergency, because nobody is going to die if this form does not get signed and sent over to payroll in the next 30 minutes. Like, that's not going to happen. Okay? So whatever you have to do to make sure that you put that boundary up around yourself is very, very important. And time management is important. Using your time wisely. While you are at work, you are doing your job. And that's it. And then when you leave, there is no more communication about work. You need to put your phone on D&D and block any emails. This was a part of our boundary series as well. Block them. They should not be able to contact you when you are outside of work. Also, you need to start evaluating your work situation. Now, boundaries may not necessarily be effective for you long term. So this is just something that can help you improve your mental health. But what am I doing, or what can I do to improve this situation totally? Leaving is it may be the answer. It may be the option. Because why stay in a place that you are miserable? Because it's going to stop. It's not going to stop at you. It's going to spread to everybody else. If you are burnt out at your job, you're sick of doing the same thing every day, you're tired of the environment, even if you do work in a good place, you may want to excel. You may want to go forward. But because you cannot, you're going to spread all of that to everybody else. So you need to think about whether or not it is time for you to move on to a new place and move on to a new position. Seeking professional help is numero uno, okay? I would even say it's before all of these things. When you start feeling those things in your body, that's when you need to start going ahead with seeking someone. I would definitely seek out a therapist. Most companies do have a therapy program for employees, especially if you work at a larger firm or a larger corporation. They would have that resource available. But if you have insurance and you want to just keep it private and not keep it through your job, then I would seek out some type of counseling or some type of therapy service. Okay? Thank you very much. Now, there is something that I want to circle back to. And this is where we were talking about, it goes back into that work-life balance, but prioritizing self-care is the most important thing that you can do for yourself. Okay? Prioritizing your self-care. You need to make sure that you are sleeping properly and an adequate amount of rest. And it should not be no 3 hours. That you cannot sustain that long term. You need to be getting at least 6 to 8 hours of sleep so that you can be your best self for the next day. And I talk about this on social media, telling y'all to take your ass to bed. It is not a suggestion. It is a requirement. You need to go to sleep because mentally your brain needs so many hours for you to be able to function properly, not just to be able to do your job, but for you to be able to show up for yourself. It helps your cognitive thinking, your critical thinking, everything is reliant on you getting rest. So it is very, very important that you sleep at night. And it's hard to say, or it's easy to say, well, you just need to go to bed. No, you need to start establishing a routine every single night. When you get home, immediately take a shower. Take a shower. That's the first thing that I do. I take my shower and I put on my PJs. I use my body scrub. And if we're ordering takeout, I more than likely have already picked it up. Or if we're doing, if I'm cooking, then I will go ahead and cook. But immediately when I come home from work, I start with taking a shower. That's the first thing that I do. I take my bath, I give Aiden his bath, and then we get going with our evening. Okay? Do not waste time on that. Start prioritizing bathing yourself and also making sure that you are getting sleep. Nutrition is very important. You have to make sure that you are eating. Even if it's like little snacks throughout the day, like every time that I'm at work, I don't necessarily get a full lunch because I'm in different locations every single time. And there are different things that I like and different things that I don't like. So I keep like a Nutri-Grain bar on hand so that I have something to give me nutrition. So I'll have a granola bar or a Nutri-Grain bar. And that helps me stay in the right frame or right mind frame for the day. I'm getting something to eat. But I want you all to make sure that you are taking care of yourself. You need to have hobbies. You need to spend time with your family. Your days should not be consistent on work. That's why that hustle lifestyle is not for me. It's not, because I will immediately shut off anything that I feel like is causing me stress. So I was doing resumes for the entire month of September, and I probably had about 20, 25 appointments, right? But it was causing me stress. So you know what I did this month? 0. I didn't do any. And I just opened my schedule back up again for me to be able to do resume reviews or for me to be able to do consultations, because I realized that this is something new that I added to my life. And I noticed that it's making it hard for me to create content. It's making it hard for me to rest. Let me cut this off. That's immediately what I did. And so people would email and be like, oh my gosh, I want to schedule an appointment. Unfortunately, I don't have any appointments available right now. I'll be happy to read an email from you, but I have to take a break. I chose that time for myself, and being able to set aside or being able to really recognize when something is affecting you mentally, and then also being able to recognize when something is affecting you physically, that is going to be a huge life changer for you. You need to have the sight to be able to notice when you have added different things to your plate and you start to see a shift. You start to feel like, okay, I'm putting out a lot. I'm using a lot of energy. I'm exerting a lot of energy, and I need to pull that back because I can't do more than that. This is my limit. And so there'll be some weeks where, yeah, I'm accepting appointments, but this week I'm not. Yeah, I'm accepting appointments, and this week I'm not. That's what I have to do. That's my limitation that I have set for myself, is that I need to have a break in between because it's affecting how I'm able to do things. But recognizing that was so important. And if I had it, I could be burnt out and not making any content. So recognizing what I needed to remove from my plate is so beneficial for me. And y'all need to do it as well. You need to look at your plate and see what you are doing that is extra, that's causing you not to sleep. What are you taking on at work that's not really your responsibility, that's not really your job? And you're taking on those things and wondering why you are stressed the fuck out. You're ready to quit every single day. You're aggravated every single day. It's because you are doing too much, and you need to diminish the amount of output. You have to, because you cannot sustain that long term. All right, guys. So I hope that you make sure that you pay attention to yourself, to your surroundings, to your plate. Pay attention to how you are being extra irritable. Pay attention to your increased levels of frustration. Pay attention to how you are sleeping. Pay attention to your plate. Think about what is on your plate that is causing overflow. Your plate is spilling over, and you need to start trimming the fat. I don't care if it's the person. I don't care if it's multiple people. I don't care what you need to do, but you need to do it to take care of yourself so that you are better for your family, for your friends, okay? For the things that really and truly matter in life. So let's get going to our first email today. It says, when I first started my job, we had paid breaks like fall break, spring break, Christmas break. Now they took all of that pay away and we have to file for unemployment. However, it's really affecting us as employees, me being a teacher, because I have my own kids. Each time we have to file, there's a 2-week waiting period, and it's only a fraction of my check when we at first were getting paid a whole check. So now we have a week without getting a paycheck. Bills are still coming in, and now Christmas is coming. And not only that, they gave us a raise that really wasn't a raise, because before that we worked 40 hours and my paycheck was $438 a week. And now they have cut my check, or cut hours, to 36 hours, and now my check is $408. How can I bring this up to them? They know how much your check is. They know how much they've taken from you. They know that they are not paying you for the fall break. They know that you're not getting paid for spring break, Christmas break. They know that because they're trying to save the company money. So this lets you know that, of course, there is a overhead problem, which means that they could be leaning towards layoffs. This is a telltale sign. When they start trimming hours like that, they start trimming some of the benefits, they are worried about overhead costs. Okay. And if I were you, I would start looking for another place of employment, because layoffs are possibly coming. I wouldn't even bring it up because they know that they took this from you and they don't care. You talking to them is not going to make them give it back. And they'll be like, oh, you know what? Let me give you this extra 30 and we're going to bring all the paid holidays back. They don't care. They know that they did that. They're trying to save the company money. And this lets you know right here that they did this. They're letting you know right now that the company is a priority, not the employees. Okay? Overhead costs are a issue for them, and that's why they cut all of those benefits. They cut it. You're not getting paid during the holiday. You're not getting paid during spring break, Christmas break, and they also cut your hours. So they are telling you straight up. And you talking to them is not going to do anything but possibly put a target on your back, because they're going to get a whiff that you may or may not quit. So if I were you, I would look for me another job in the same environment, or, like a teacher, like what you're doing, because that's what your skills are in. But I would not say anything, because clearly they are about to start laying y'all off. All right, into our next email. This one says, good morning, Brandi. My teacher, or I don't know why I say teacher, because we were in that last email. My manager asked for me to stand in for him when he goes on vacation. Although there are 2 people above me, I agreed. I asked him, to whom do I send the daily status report? He told me that his deputy, who was one of the 2 people above me, would be sending it. So I asked him, if his deputy is sending the report, why is he not allowing the deputy to stand in for him? He had no response. I found this thought process confusing. I believe that his refusal to allow me to send the daily report is him preventing me from communicating with upper management. What do you think? I think you're thinking way too far, because it's just a report. He probably is having you send it to the deputy for the deputy to review then it's going to go up to upper management. So I wouldn't have someone send a report as well without it being reviewed. I would send it to someone that can peer review it or review it for me because I'm out of the office, and have that person make sure that the information is correct and go over to the management team. Now, as far as him asking you to do this, he is delegating tasks to you. And this is what management is supposed to do. That's what they're supposed to do. Delegate tasks and empower the team to complete them. So if your first thought is, oh, he's trying to keep me away from from upper management, I think not. He's actually asking you to complete a task, and maybe that is something that you can be more responsible for, which could lead to other opportunities inside of the workplace. I don't think that this is necessarily a malicious situation. I think you may be overthinking and should complete the task and stick close to your boss, because a good opportunity can come from it. That's what I see. There's nothing else in here that's kind of giving me a reason to think maybe there is malicious intent. So if you have something else, please update us on the situation. But I'm not seeing it from this email. It's very basic, and it's simply about a report. So if there's anything else, maybe some other things happening at work that I don't know because it's not in this email, you got to let me know. But from right here, I don't see anything malicious in this email. All right, and on to our next email. It says, good evening. I work in a department where so many people are miserable due to the manager and unit supervisor. A job came open in another department, and many people from the department applied. The department manager called each person in her office individually to ask why they applied. Is that legal? This person or this manager is someone who will sabotage all of those who apply to ensure that they do not even get an interview. Please advise. Baby, it is legal, unfortunately. There is no law that says your manager cannot ask why you applied for another job or why you applied to another department. She cannot do that. And then also, unless there's a company policy about it, she could. Is it kind of unethical and weird as fuck? Yeah. It's kind of weird, but that's not something that's against the law. Now, as far as her doing this, it's weird, because if she's someone that can sabotage or cost people the opportunity of being interviewed, or even the application even being reviewed because she's sabotaging them, what I would do is do an anonymous note, not an email. And I would make sure that it gets into the hands of the HR department by any means necessary, okay? Because someone needs to wave the flag and say there is something foul going on. They would not know who did it because there are many people that she has interviewed. So I would go that route. I would anonymously drop off a letter and let them know this is what's going on in the workplace. I don't know how your job is structured, or if you have an HR department, because there are some companies that if they don't have 50 employees in some states, they do not have to have an HR department. So be careful. If you don't have an HR department, I would just mind my business, okay? But if you do, and this is possibly a way of getting your anonymous report out, that's what I would do. Do not send an email. Send it anonymously, okay? All right. Okay, and to our last email, it says, hello, I hope you are well. I am. Thank you very much. I hope you are as well. I have a manager who gossips about other stuff to my coworkers all the time about people's performance and private information. My manager is very short with me. She talks to my other coworkers as if I'm not even there when talking about my children. What? I'm a child care provider. Oh, okay. Okay. I'm a child care provider at a pretty good daycare. When we have meetings, I try to talk to her about stuff in the classroom or things that would help me do my job better. And she says something quick and moves on to talk about another manager. To be honest, I'm burnt out and want to go above her and talk to her boss. I want to stay at this position to get my CDA and then leave. Don't talk to her boss then, baby, okay? There is so much gossiping and favoritism. It honestly makes me not want to talk to anyone. What advice would you give me in this circumstance? You already have a plan, okay, baby? You have a plan. You're going to get your CDA and then you're leaving. You already know that because there's so much gossiping happening in the workplace, it's not just your manager. She is gossiping to her boss as well. Do not bring up anything that can affect your employment when you know that you're about to leave. What is the point? There is no point. This place is so far gone. There's so much toxic behavior taking place. It doesn't even matter if you said anything. You said they're gossiping, there's favoritism, which you know is not going to do any, you know that that's not going to go anywhere. You already know that. I think you know in your heart, and you just want to do what's right. And that's that Superwoman thing. That's that Superman thing. We're trying to put on a cape and save the workplace and make it right. That's not your job. Your job is not to save the workplace. Your job is to do your job and then either promote or leave. That is it. And you have already made up your mind that your plan is to get your CDA while you're here, and then you are going to move forward. I would just move forward, and you need to start ignoring her. Don't talk to her about how to improve anything. She's not going to do anything about it. You already see the writing on the wall. Move forward. Don't care. When she's talking to your other employees or your other coworkers, disengage in conversation. Do not feel like you have to listen. Do not feel like you have to respond unless it pertains to your job. So I'm telling you right now, do not put up that flag. Do not do anything, because this is a situation where unless you can report it anonymously, like the previous email, nothing is going to come of this. It's actually going to put a target on your back, and you have already made an idea, or you have made a exit plan. You already have your strategy to leave this workplace. So there's no need to bring anything up. Just move forward. All right, y'all, that is the end of our episode today. I really hope that y'all are applying the things that we discussed. Workplace burnout is real as fuck, and it will take you down mentally. It will take you down emotionally, and you need to take care of yourself. Okay? Stop making excuses. Stop but. No, ain't no more buts. Okay? One lady, she did this video and she said some people need a little bit more. You need a little more disrespect. You need a little more abuse before you move forward. Maybe you need that, but I don't. Make a decision, make a plan, and be proactive. Okay? You are the CEO of your life, and you have to do something about the bullshit that you don't like. Make sure that you are following me at the Millennial Management Podcast on the podcast. And then make sure you're following me on social media at Brandi, the Millennial Manager. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And then also, if you would like your email read on the podcast, you can send it over to themillmanagementpod@gmail.com. I will see y'all later. Y'all have a wonderful day, and I'll catch y'all on the internet. Bye-bye.